guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is India Wise and welcome. So for today's video, we are going to do this new series that I came up with while I was sitting in bed, streaming and all that. So basically, I came up with this series, something that I'm gonna call the power of blending. Basically, what this series is gonna be is, it's gonna be in parts. Let's start with that. It's gonna be in parts, and the power of blending is gonna consist of really learning and getting detailed with blending. That consists of blending with eyeshadow, blending with foundation, blending with contour, blah, blah, blah. Blending with brows, all of that. And the reason I really wanted to do this was because I thought it would be very helpful and informative on just blending in general. I know that sometimes it's something that all of us struggle with, and it's something that I did struggle with when I first started makeup. So I thought it would be pretty helpful, and I really hope it does end up being really helpful. For today's video specifically, we are going to do part one, which part one is going to be eyeshadow. It's going to be the blending of eyeshadow, and I think that I wanted to start with this one just because eyeshadow is my favorite kind of thing to get into. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I thought this would be fun, and yeah. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on today's video. So let's get a headband on for this tutorial. This shall be fun. And honestly, like when I started makeup, I wish I would have had something like this to look at, even though I learned. I just realized I only have one earring on. Great. I wish I would have had something like this to follow. Like I said, I did watch tutorials, and that's pretty much how I learned. It would have been so helpful to have something that focused just on blending, and all the makeup that you do, whether it's brows, eyeshadow, foundation, contour, highlight, all of it is blending. All of it consists of blending. So I think it's very important that I do a couple of dedicated videos on each part of my makeup routine so that I can show you guys how I get the seamless blend for everything. So yeah, okay. The first step, and this is a very, very important step in making sure your eyeshadow is blended to perfection and it looks great, is moisturizing. Did we hear that? Moisturizing. This is gonna be very important, and it's a step that some people skip, and then it can make your eyeshadow not look the best. Now the reason I say this is because when I was in high school, I didn't always put moisturizer on before I went in with any of my makeup, and so it was really patchy, and the skin needs moisture. Period. The skin needs moisture. So it's very important that you go in with at least an eye cream or just a moisturizer just to have that moisture there. So for that, I'm just going to use Aveeno and apply it all over, and specifically apply it to the eyelid. So step one is moisturizing, okay? Moisturize. Okay. Second step is going to be making sure you have a really good eyeshadow palette. Now, I know how expensive makeup can be. Believe me, I know it's annoying sometimes. I'm like, I know how expensive makeup can be. That's okay though, because the drugstore is, you know, they've been stepping it up, and there are palettes from the drugstore that you can get. Maybe I'll do a dedicated video on that, but it's really important that you have an eyeshadow palette that blends out really well, has pigment, and just is great. Okay. For today's video, the eyeshadow palette that we're going to use is the Jackie Aina times ABH palette. ABH meaning Anastasia Beverly Hills. I love this palette. It's so beautiful, and I love Jackie Aina. Shout out to her. She's amazing. The third step is going to be having good brushes. Now, this is another expensive thing that's on the market right now. Brushes can be extremely expensive, but they don't have to be. I get my brushes from BH Cosmetics, Morphe, Amazon. Amazon has great brushes for a good price. Do you hear me? Great brushes for a good price. And you know, I'm not heavy on just spending. So when I do see something that has a good price on it and works really well, I go for it. e.l.f., Wet n Wild, all of those companies have really good brushes for a really good price. Some higher end ones are going to be Sigma, Zoeva, Sephora. I think Ulta has brushes as well. Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of the higher end companies have brushes. I know Tarte, Marc Jacobs, ABH, they all have brushes, and so you can invest in that if that suits your pockets. But having good brushes is very, very important, and it is something that you cannot just skip and put to the side. So just really finding some really good brushes that you love, and you don't have to get them all at one time. A nice fluffy blending brush like this one, and maybe like a small tapered brush that has like an angle brush would be really well. And like I said, a small tapered brush. You could literally just have these and have a really good eye look. So it doesn't take, you know, $100 to get you where you want to go. And Amazon has brush sets that you can get, so it'll come with like 4 face brushes and then like 5 eye brushes, and that will get you started off. I don't know how much they are, but I'm on Amazon like every day, so yeah, $12.99. So I'm gonna do my brows off camera because I'm gonna do a dedicated video to that. I'm gonna do my brows off camera. I'm gonna come back for the 4th step. Okay, so brows are on, and I wanted to stop because usually I carve them out, but I wanted to stop where I was and carve them out on camera, because usually for step 4, we're gonna just say this is step 4, I go in with a concealer to carve out my brows, but I use that same concealer oftentimes as a base for my eyeshadow. So a base is really important. Oftentimes your eyeshadow is not going to look really, really good if you just go in straight with it without putting any base. So yeah, you can use your concealer like I said I do. And then there's like the P. Louise base that I use sometimes when I'm going in with colorful looks. I know Urban Decay has one, Anastasia Beverly Hills has one, e.l.f. has one. Most brands have eyeshadow bases that you can buy, or you can just use your concealer, which concealer is usually like the best option. Honestly, it's what I do, and my eyeshadow ends up looking really, really well. So today I'm just gonna go in with concealer. And I'm gonna use this Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. And then I'm also gonna use this Jouer High Essential Full Coverage Liquid Concealer. And this is lighter, so this one is a little like golden and darker, and then this one's lighter. I go in with both because I don't want it to be too dark on the eyes. You wanna kind of brighten that area, so I'm just gonna go in with both to carve the brows and also use it as an eyeshadow base. And if you want to cover the, like, if you have anything in your eyes, like I have a birthmark right here. I know people are probably wondering what that was, but it's a birthmark. How that is there, I don't know. But my dad had it too, and yeah, so if you want to cover veins or a birthmark or anything on your eye, you want to go in with something that has full coverage to it. And usually that really just helps to cover everything on the eye and give you like a really clean slate. So yeah, that's important as well. Alright, I'm just going to use this flat brush from Amazon and carve out the brows. What have you guys been doing as far as like free time and stuff? Let me know in the comments. I would really like to know. I've honestly been trying to stay busy and focus really on just becoming a better me. I think that's so important when, just in general for men and women, is to really work on yourself and find what really makes you happy. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. I like to just blend this all out, and making sure that this base is blended out, like completely blended out, is really gonna be important, because you don't want to go in with eyeshadow and this not be blended out. For the next step, I go in with a little bit of powder. I know as far as like some people don't set their eyeshadow base and some people do. Like when I'm not going in with a super colorful look, I use powder, just a little bit, just to set it. But when I'm going in with something really, really colorful, I don't set it because it gives me like maximum pigment. Like, So today we're just gonna set it, and I'm gonna use a little bit of this Fit Me powder and just go in and make sure that no creases have formed. If you see creases, blend them out, honey. Blend them out, because you do not want that on your eyeshadow or under your eyeshadow. Alright. And the first step in going in with eyeshadow is going in with, you want to start from light to dark. So you don't want to go in with a super, super dark color. You have to do it in steps. You can't just go straight to dark, because then it's going to look crazy. So the first shade that we're going to go in with, which is going to be our transition color. And a transition color basically is just a color that is going to help the rest of your eyeshadows blend into it. So it's basically that base. It's another base for the eyeshadow so that it can look very seamless and blended. So we're gonna go in with ginger. I'm gonna go in with a really, really fluffy brush, and this is the Morphe M518. And we're gonna take ginger and we're gonna tap off the excess and then go in. And because this palette is so pigmented, you don't want to go in with a heavy hand. You want to kind of just feather it on very lightly. And the way you hold your brush is going to be very important as well. If you hold it really close, you're going to apply a lot of pressure, and that is going to make your eyeshadow look really harsh. You want to kind of hold it at the middle to the end and blend it that way in circular motions. And like I said in a couple other videos, I take up my eyeshadow higher than the natural shape of the eye, just because I want the effect of a bigger eye. But that's just like me. You don't have to do that, but it's just a trick I learned. And you want to keep just going in circular motions and working that brush onto your eye. Okay, so that's our transition color, and I'm going to actually zoom you guys, I zoomed out, zoom you guys in a little bit more, just so you guys can get a better look at what's going on. Alright, and then for the next shade, we're going to use Edges. And I'm actually just going to use that same brush, tap off the excess, and tap it. And a lot of the motions that I'm using on my eye are going to be tapping it on and then blending it out so that you can get maximum pigment. So you want to tap, press, tap or press, either one, and then blend. Then I'm gonna build it up a little bit more. So then I'm gonna go in the palette, tap off the excess, pat, pat, and then blend. And having a mirror that's up close and personal to you is going to be important as well. So you can usually just, a lot of palettes just have mirrors, but some don't. So you want to make sure you have a mirror so that you can see up close to what the eye look is really looking like. And I'm going to list all the brush, like where you can get affordable brushes or just the brushes that I got on Amazon below, just so that beginners, if you are a beginner or you just want some affordable brushes, you can go and look at those. I'm gonna go in with this BH Cosmetics number 5 brush. This is from the Studio Pro collection, and I'm gonna take the pink shade Supreme. And first I'm going to press, this shade in the middle. And then begin to blend. And the reason it's so important to go back and forth between brushes and go back and forth between shades is because you don't want to lose any of the colors that you applied. So it's going to be very important. Just drop the brush. It's going to be really important that you go back between shades and between brushes just so you do not lose any of the colors that you applied. What you also want to have on deck is a nice brush that has no product on it. This is the BH Cosmetics number 7 brush, just to blend everything out. And you want to have something that has no product on it because it's really going to help like blend completely because there's no product on it. So it's going to be really easy to just blend everything together. So I'm going to go back in with the pink shade and apply it one more time just so it doesn't get lost. Okay, so we have all of those shades blended out, and now I'm going to take the darkest shade, which is the purple, and it's called Big Wig. And like I said, I'm first going to, I'm going to tap off the excess, and then I'm first going to tap it on. You really just want to tap it on to get full pigment. And I'm going to do it on both sides. And then go back in with that BH Cosmetics brush that has the pink on it and blend it out. I think we're good so far. And you'll know like when you feel you've gotten the blend you want. You won't know, but just it takes time, and that's like the biggest thing also is like Your eyeshadow is going to take time to, you know, blend well. Eyeshadow takes time. It's time consuming. So when you want to do a really bomb eyeshadow look, make sure you have enough time to be able to do that, because you don't want to, you know, just rush and then it look, I've done that before, not cute. For the next step, I'm going to apply liner. I'm going to use this NYX matte liquid liner and apply. And sometimes I apply the shimmer before or after liner. It doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna apply a shimmer on the lid after this. Okay, so I went ahead and applied the shimmer and a little bit of black to blend the liner into the eyeshadow. So I'm gonna show you guys that. Give me a second. Okay. I'm gonna use Zam from the palette and apply it with my finger. I apply shimmers with my finger just because it gives me max pigment, and it's so pretty. This shade is like, it's just India, you know? You know when something's just like you? It's like this shade. And then if you get a little bit of the shimmer on the liner, it's okay because you can reapply, but usually I just do liner after, but like for some reason I did it the opposite way today. So to make it easier on yourself, just go ahead and apply the shimmer first and then the liner. And then you can take the blending brush and blend it in with the rest of the shades. And then what I do next is, once this is dry, I take just a black shadow. It can be from any palette. I'm using the Momo Mitchell palette to do this, but I always blend the eyeliner with shadow, like the end, because I don't like it to come to a complete stop. And what that does is it just makes like a really good seamless blend. This is something I always do, no matter what look. I always do that. And then you're done. This is it for the eyeshadow. And then I'm gonna do all the face stuff off camera because I'm doing another video like dedicated to that, so I don't wanna do today. I just wanted to focus on eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna go apply the face products off camera and then I'll be back. Alright, so we have all of that, all the face stuff applied. You have to make sure that you go in with whatever you put on your eyes, on the lower lash line as well. You don't want to just leave it like this, because right now I feel like I look crazy with these big lashes on and nothing on the lower lash line. So usually what I do for this, I just take this Bare Minerals, it's like a double-sided brush, and I first take the transition color Ginger and go in with this. And then I'm going to take Edges, which is the second color we used. Not apply too much of this. And then I'm going to take the other side, which is like a angled brush, and go in with the purple color. Just like that. And then I go in with another brush. This is, oh, I'm gonna take a different one. This is the BH Cosmetics number 9 brush, and I'm gonna go in with Zam again, and I'm just gonna apply it to the inner corner. And this really just opens your eyes up and makes you look more awake. And then the last thing that I do for eyes is I go in with mascara on the bottom lashes. I love doing this, it just looks so good. If you feel like you're gonna get it under the eye, just go ahead and apply some powder under so that you can prevent that from happening, and that'll just cure that. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the eye look, guys. All right, guys, so this is the completed look. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.